All right. Morning, folks. We're in session. Defendant and counsel are present. The jurors are in the jury room. Got them all? Okay. We have them all. Everybody ready to proceed?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Thank you for being here timely. Bring the jury in, please. Morning, folks. We're now back in session. We appreciate you being here. We appreciate your service, and we are ready to proceed in this matter. And I believe we had completed the last witness, and the state may proceed by calling your next witness.
The state calls Susan Dufour.
Okay. Ma'am, come around. There's a Bible up here. If you put your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and remain standing and take your oath, please. Thank you.
I do.
You may proceed.
Ma'am, could you state your name for the court?
My name is Susan Dufour.
And how, back in 2011, did you have occasion to come into contact with Grant Hayes?
Yes, I did.
And where were you working at that time?
I was working at Walmart on Glenwood Avenue.
And how long did you work at that Walmart on Glenwood Avenue?
That particular one, I had worked there for, since it opened, so 8 years, I think.
And how long total in your career did you work?
I had been with Walmart for 22 years.
That Walmart on Glenwood Avenue, do you know the address?
10,000 Glenwood Avenue.
Where is it in relation
Or-
to Crabtree Valley Mall, for instance?
It's about 6 miles
Is it
out.
out in Briar Creek?
Yes, it's in Briar Creek.
Okay. And what were your responsibilities at that Walmart back around July 13th and 14th of 2011?
I was a third shift assistant manager.
And what is the third shift?
Third shift runs from 8 p.m. till 8 a.m. for management.
And what were your responsibilities as an assistant manager?
My responsibilities were to get the associates together to bring the store back together for the next day, to restock the shelves, and take care of any overnight business to have it ready for the next morning.
Okay. And back then, on July 14th of 2011, in the early morning hours, were you working around 2 a.m.?
Yes, I was.
And is that when you came into contact with Mr. Hayes?
Yes, I did.
You're on confidential witness.
You may.
Ma'am, this is a CD that's been marked as State's Exhibit A547. At some point, have you been able to review that video?
Yes, I have.
Your Honor, at this time I move to enter State's Exhibit A547.
Let A547 be received.
And I'd ask to publish this at this time.
You may.
Ma'am, is this the Walmart parking lot there at Briar Creek?
Yes, it's the parking lot out in front of the building.
And what these buildings out here, what direction are we looking? what are we looking at?
That's looking out towards the road. 70 runs along this way, and this is ACC Boulevard, I believe.
Now, as I play this video, and the timestamp appears to be July 14th at 2:06:53 a.m. Do you see a gray, what appears to be a Durango pull up?
Yes, I do.
And here at 2:07 a.m. in 20 seconds, do you see an individual walking from that Durango towards the building?
Yes, I do.
I'm going to switch to another camera angle. And where are we looking in this image?
We're looking at the front vestibule entrance on the grocery side of the store.
Okay, so this is the entrance from the parking lot into the store.
Yes.
And that individual that's at the top of the screen at 2:07:51. Is that the person that you interacted with that night?
Yes, it is.
And can you tell the jury, when you first saw Mr. Hayes, where did you first see him?
He was over in the hardware department. I was in the aisle, working across the aisle in the housewares department.
And what happened when you first saw him?
He came to me and asked me where some items were.
Do you recall what those items were?
He was asking me about saw blades for a jigsaw.
When he first approached you and asked you about saw blades for a jigsaw, do you remember what his demeanor was like?
Nothing out of the ordinary. He was just asking me about a product, so nothing that stood out.
Madam Clerk, thank you. Actually, a different angle from State Exhibit 547. Where are we looking in this camera angle?
We're looking into the hardware department. This would be the paint counter right here. And I'm working right in this area.
Okay, and what are you doing in that area? Just as a follow-up?
I'm stocking some of the freight. I had sent all of my associates to lunch, and so I was the only one out there, and I was just trying to keep up.
And when you say lunch, this is, I guess, halfway through the...
Yeah, our lunch break was from 2 a.m. till 3 a.m.
Was that the person you interacted with?
Yes, it is.
Does he go around the corner and appear back over in this area?
Yes, he does.
And what is that area of the Walmart?
There's a whole wall of different saw blades, and then some other equipment is also along that wall, actual saws, electric saws, and things like that.
this angle at 2:11 a.m. and 44 seconds, is there at the top of the screen that same individual?
Yes, it is.
Here at 2:12 a.m. is he walking down that aisle with the saw blades on it?
Yes, the saw blades are all right in here.
And here at 2:12 and 30 seconds a.m. on July 14th, does he appear to be shopping for saw blades?
Yeah, the saw blades are here, and then the reciprocal saws are here, and other power equipment.
And here at 2:13 and 40 seconds, is this when you first made contact with Mr. Hayes?
Yes, it is.
Do you recall what, at that point, it appears he has an item in his hand and he's approached you. Do you remember what specifically he asked you?
I think he was asking me about the reciprocal saw, you know, and the blades that went with it.
And at this point, you walk back to where all the saws are with him.
Yes, that's correct.
Do you remember him saying anything else to you about the saws or this conversation?
He was asking me about the blades for a jigsaw, and he had brought me a blade, but it wasn't for a jigsaw. It was much larger, and he asked me if, when I showed him where the jigsaw blades were, he asked me if they were any larger than that, and I told him that no, that was as large as they could get. And then at that point, he had pointed another blade on there, and I had told him that wasn't for the jigsaw, it was for a reciprocal saw.
Okay.
So,
As best you can, could you explain to the jury the difference between a jigsaw and a reciprocating saw?
a jigsaw is small, you know, and it sits on top of a board and cuts out. A reciprocal saw is large and has a blade sticking out, and you can basically go through walls or whatever. It's just
Okay. So
bigger and badder.
you know folks use a reciprocating saw to cut holes.
Holes in walls and things like that, yeah.
So you had a conversation with him about, he brings you a bigger blade that is not for a jigsaw. You say the jigsaw blades are over here, and then what happens at this point?
I think at this point, he's asking me about, still asking me about the blades, but I think then I go and show him what the big blades went to. I think I showed him where the reciprocal saw was. But at this point, we're still talking about the blades, you know. I think he didn't want to have to buy another saw.
Okay.
So, yeah, and this is where I go and I show him the reciprocal saw that particular blade went to.
Did he lead you to believe that he had a jigsaw?
Yes, that was what I was assuming. He had a jigsaw and he was just looking for a larger blade to go on it.
And he asked you about larger blades?
Yes.
These minutes that you're interacting with him, does his demeanor ever change?
No, not really.
The whole time he was calm?
Yes, he was.
And here we are at 2:17 a.m. and 20 seconds. And at this point, did you go back to what you were doing before, Mr. Davis?
Yes, I left him to ponder over the wall and I went back to work.
And just to be clear, I think we've referred to him as Mr. Hayes, but when he came up to you at 2 a.m. that early Thursday morning, you didn't know who he was?
I had no idea who he was. I mean, I just thought he was a late night shopper.
Here we are at 2:18 a.m. and 20 seconds, and is he still standing there calmly shopping?
Yes.
And at this point, does it appear that at 2:18 a.m. and 40 seconds, does it appear he picked up a reciprocating saw?
Yes.
After he gets that saw, does he come back and talk to you again?
Yeah, at that point he comes and he is asking me about where some other items are.
And is that you leading him down this aisle?
Yes.
And what items does he ask about?
He was asking for heavy-duty trash bags, and then he was also asking for like where the plastic, heavy-duty plastic was.
Heavy-duty plastic and trash bags?
Yes.
And here we are at 2:19 and 50 seconds. I can switch the camera angle real quick. And here we are looking at that. Is this the other camera angle that we looked at earlier?
Yeah, that's looking from the aisle into the department.
And here at 2:19 and 10 seconds a.m. and July 14th, is that when you led him down this aisle?
Yes, I did.
And what's located on that?
I think in that area we were looking for the trash bags, which are down at the end. they were down like in this area.
And again, did you leave him to?
I did. Yeah, I did.
Do you remember if what specifically he asked you about trash bags?
He just was looking for the heavy duty industrial strength.
And then does he reapproach you again?
Yes, he does.
And this is at 2:20 and 16 seconds in the morning.
Yeah.
And what does he ask you about?
This time he's asking me about the plastic.
And what kind of plastic was he looking for?
Just the heavy duty plastic that you use to throw down on the floor to protect your carpet when you're painting, which comes in rolls.
Is that located somewhere down this aisle that's behind these balloons?
Yeah, it's down in here. This is where all the paint is, and then the painting supplies are down in there also.
And here at 2:21 and 25 seconds, do you see him going down that aisle?
Yes, I do.
Does he come approach you again, or just keep shopping? Do you remember?
He comes and gets me again. And this time he asked me about, I think he asked me about where some gloves were. Some, and I think he asked me about where some goggles were. And not knowing exactly where it is, I'm wandering around a little bit trying to find it.
Do you recall what kind of gloves he wanted?
He was just looking for some rubber gloves. So.
Did you leave him back in this aisle?
I did.
Okay. And after you pointed him to those gloves, was that the last time that you spoke with him?
I think it was, yeah.
At any point over, I guess at this point it's 2:23 in the morning, according to this video. At any point did he appear stressed or freaked
No,
out?
not at all.
The whole
Not at all.
time he was calm?
He was very calm.
I can skip this forward. Here at 2:26 and 25 seconds, it appears he's still shopping around for.
Yeah, still looking around for some of those items.
I'll show you one more camera angle. This camera angle, what are we looking at it?
We're at the front register.
And since you previously seen this video, correct?
Yes, I have.
That's him up there?
Yes, it is.
Okay. And what is that object?
That's the reciprocating saw.
You can almost read skill right there, can't you?
Yes.
And what is that object?
Those are the goggles.
And are these the trash bags?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. This is at 2:30 and 40 seconds in the morning. according to the
Yes.
timestamp. Is this him paying at the register?
Yes, it is.
Does he appear to take his wallet out at this point at 2:31 and 15 seconds?
Yes, it does.
And can you tell what that transaction was that just occurred? I'm sorry, is that the person?
No, that's the person before him.
Okay.
Yeah. So she was finishing up the transaction with the customer in front of him. Now that's him right there.
And that's the saw and
Yeah.
other objects?
And the plastic. That's the plastic roll.
And the goggles?
The goggles.
Those are some gloves that she was put into a bag?
Yes.
And did he also buy an additional set of blades for that reciprocating saw?
Yes, he did.
Now, is that him taking out some money?
Yes, that's him taking out the money.
Can you tell what's happening at this point?
I think he's I don't.
Do you recall from previously viewing this video that there's some mouthwash that was...
There was some mouthwash, and that I think she had taken it off the receipt, and then and put it back.
Okay, so that's that exchange.
Yes.
Okay. And that, here looking at the bottom of the screen, that's him picking up the reciprocating saw at 2:33 and 40 seconds on July 14th.
Yes.
Appears to be getting his bags at the bottom of the screen.
Yes.
Sorry, one last camera angle. And are we looking outside of that parking lot again?
Yes, that's the front parking lot.
And that Durango appears in that parking lot,
Yes.
and it appears to have its lights off at this point.
Yes, it is.
And here at 2:34 a.m. and 39 seconds, that appear to be Mr. Hayes with that shopping cart, the reciprocating saw going to the car.
Yes, it does.
2:35 and 15 seconds, it disappeared and lifted the back gate of that Durango and is putting stuff in his car.
Yes.
Appears he put something in the front passenger seat.
Yes, it does.
And then he drives away at 2:36 and 15 seconds,
Yes.
leaving the shopping cart right there.
Yes.
I believe he testified that the first time he saw Grant Hayes on this video was at 2:06 a.m. and we're at 2:36 a.m. So that's around half an hour.
Correct.
And he spent some 10 or 15 minutes with him inside the store.
Correct.
And at any point did his demeanor change from being calm?
No, not at all.
And he asked you about a reciprocating saw, some gloves, some plastic sheeting. Do you see that often?
You know, we would get different kinds of shoppers coming in, so nothing really surprised me. You know, there's lots of third shift workers in this world, and, you know, it's when they shop.
Sure.
So,
Thank you, Matt.
thank you.
All right, questions, Mr. Gaskins?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
All right. Sure.
Yes.
Let me ask you, if you will, to examine what I have marked as Defendant's Exhibit number 37B, and ask you if you can identify that.
Yeah, that's the receipt.
And before I take it away from
Uh-huh.
you, I believe that we saw that while Grant was at the cash register, that he paid for this purchase with cash.
Correct.
Is that correct?
Yes.
Is that also reflected on this receipt?
Yes, it says right on the receipt, cash tendered. Uh-huh.
One of the last things that we saw when he went on the video, when he went to the Dodge Durango, was that he opened the right front passenger door of the vehicle and put something inside it. There was no one else in that vehicle, was there?
Not that I could see.
Now, he came into the store at approximately 2 a.m.,
Thereabout.
and I take it that you didn't immediately confront him until...
No, not till he came back to where I was.
And you spent about 15 minutes with him while he went to various different locations, and I think, let me just go down the list of the things on the receipt and be sure that I understand what it was that he bought while he was in the store.
Okay.
He bought a pair of 3M goggles.
Yes.
He bought a reciprocating skill saw,
Yes.
and that's that big
That's
saw
the
that
big
you
box,
saw with
yeah,
the
that you
long
saw.
blade on it.
Yeah.
He bought some heavy-duty trash bags.
Yes.
He bought some sheeting, something that's listed in this sheeting. What would that be?
That would be the plastic sheeting, the rolls of plastic sheeting.
He bought a 4, millimeter tarp.
Yes.
What is that?
That was, I think that he got a tarp over in another part of the store, just a regular tarp. He didn't ask me about that. He picked that up on his own. So.
That was you also in the video.
That was me,
walking
yes.
around with him.
Yes.
Trying to locate the different items.
Correct.
That he wanted. And I believe he brought some gloves, and he bought some blades for the saw.
Mm-hmm.
have something here, you'll have to tell me what the initials stand for. It's 6WD reciprocating blade, is that what I'm seeing? Do you need to look at it?
Let me see the receipt.
Yeah, Photoshop.
All right.
This item right here.
Yes, that's the extra blade.
Now, and I think the last item on the list was the mouthwash.
Yes, it was.
Now, during the time that you were in the store, I believe Mr. Zellinger touched on this, Grant's demeanor was extremely calm, wasn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't anything out of the ordinary.
Just like he's in there buying milk and juice.
Yes, it was.
Now, you testified at his trial, did you not?
Yes, I did.
You're aware that he has been convicted of killing Laura Ackerson on July 13th,
Yes, I did.
2011.
Yes.
So he was in your store not long after he had killed her, correct?
That's correct.
Well, sustained. Sustained. You have no personal knowledge of that, do you?
I mean, he was in there. I
know,
had no.
but you don't know when
I
she...
have no idea what he had done before or
Okay.
after. Or
All right.
all I'm aware of is
Sustained.
yeah.
Sustained.
What you know is that this man is in your store buying these objects, and his demeanor is extremely calm, isn't it?
His demeanor was just ordinary.
Just like any other shopper.
Yeah, it wasn't. Yeah.
There was nothing about anything that he did to indicate to you that he might have just done something bad.
No.
Thank you. That's
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Can I cover his witness?
You may.
And I show you what's, you previously been shown Defendant's Exhibit 37D. I marked it as State's Exhibit 551. Is this the receipt from that Walmart that you were just speaking about?
Yes, it is.
Okay. It does appear to be all the items that Mr. Hayes bought that evening.
Yes, it does.
And does it indicate that he paid cash tendered?
Yes, it does.
So what was the total of these?
The total was $98.93.
And since I'm having you read from this, Your Honor, I'd move to enter State's Exhibit 551 at this time.
Let it be pursued.
$98 was the total. He tendered $100.
$100, and then got $1.07 back for change.
Can you tell how much the mouthwash was that was added and then taken off?
The mouthwash was $2.77.
Okay, so had that mouthwash been included, it would have been more than
It would have been over 100, yes.
Okay, and so that was taken off that receipt.
Yes, it was.
And so he paid $100 and got some $1.07 back.
Correct.
And that was on July 14th at 2:32 in the morning.
Yes, correct.
Okay, thank you. Nothing further.
Anything else? Mr. Gaskins? Mr. Gaskins, anything?
I'm sorry, I don't have any.
Okay, thank you.
Ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. You may stand down. This witness is excused. Call your next witness.
This time the state was called Dexter Gill.
All right. Go, come around, be sworn.